Let your body shake. Pum, just gently pum, connecting to the earth, the beat of the heart. Pum, 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 pum. Okay, just this time evolving, and these waves of energy can come through, and we can let ourselves open up to receive this magnificence of this energy. So just feel your feet on the ground. Just open your hands forward, opening to receive. Just like this beautiful sunflower grows in its radiance by opening to the sunlight, and it keeps turning towards the sun no matter what. It keeps turning towards the sun until it reaches a point where its seeds are full. Then it bows its head and gives the seeds out to the earth. So we're reaching towards the sun, reaching towards the sunlight. Feeling your feet in the earth.
You fancy a few stripes? No? Or a little mohawk thing, you know, a little mohawk ponytail even.
La 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 da 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 la da 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 la da da dee dee da la 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 da dee da dee da. Crystals and aromatherapy in these paints, and a little bit of sacred geometry going through her intuitive heart, right through her third eye to the rest of the world, about drawing people to the Wellness Festival for a big blast today. Yeah? Do you reckon? Should have a big blast today?
They've been doing it for long enough to know what you're doing now.
I probably do.
Oh,
that's a mirror.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Did you want it on your rainbow stick or on a different stick? Put it on your rainbow stick.
I'd like to acknowledge I always like to acknowledge the soul, the spirit and the consciousness of all of our ancestors, of all of our custodians that have looked after the land here, and particularly around this area here where we're doing ceremony and festivities all day. I'd like to acknowledge every one of us with an abundance of love, joy, appreciation and gratitude. I also like to acknowledge the soul, the spirit and the consciousness of every animal and every plant and Mother Earth. So I hope you have a lovely day today, and welcome to the Crystal Waters Festival, Wellness Festival. Thank you.
But I went to the co-op meeting, the co-op.
Yeah, how was that?
Some of it.
I wasn't able to.
I'm ready to do it, so I don't see that
Oh, they're a bit wacky, those Scorpio moons. Yeah, they're a bit out there.
Yeah, good.
When you've got a successful inoculated crop, it'll have like little nodules, little balls on the roots,
and that's releasing nitrogen into your soil. And yeah, so really important crop. I put it in with, this time of year with millet as well. The millet will just die down and that'll add organic matter to your garden. And
in biodynamics, there's a recognition there's actually two dimensions to agriculture. So we can be really concerned about the plant sitting in the ground, and we see the plant sitting there. But it's also, its roots are in the ground, but it's actually, its leaves and its whole upper part are actually sitting up there exposed to the world around it, that great cosmos around it. And one of the things that Rudolf Steiner, who was the originator of biodynamics, he gave a series of agriculture lectures. He was for those people who don't know Steiner, he was an Austrian scientist and philosopher, but he was also a seer. He could see behind the world of nature and those forces that were actually at work behind the world of nature.
But how many people here have heard the term terra preta and know what it is? 1, 2, 3, 4. About just less than half. The story of biochar starts in the Amazon. In the 1950s, a Dutch archaeologist was the first one that noticed these black soils there. The local people in Brazil have recognised that these soils just grow. They're just among the most fertile soils in the world, and they actually mine it and sell it off as topsoil if you get to the suburbs in Brazil or wherever. And they have mapped these soils now, and they cover an area the size of France, and it's now become apparent that there were tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people living in the Amazon basin. 20 years later, there was no evidence, there was no Machu Picchus, there were no pyramids, there were no... The only telltale signs of civilization when they started digging deeply was pottery shards, because they used the clay to make pottery, and the pottery shards would remain in the black soil, and that's how they start to go, hang on, it's working in there. And I tell you, I've been into this for a few years now, and it is hugely complex. I'm on, there's a biochar discussion forum on Yahoo Groups, and he's a professor in Sydney University, who I did an advanced biochar workshop with recently. He said, soil looks a bit better for having been there, but it's like being used up, spat out, bleached, whatever, sucked up in the plants, it's gone. When you do this with charcoal, you just do it once. When you get the dosage right of charcoal, you do it once and you add it to the ground. Forevermore, you'll change that soil forever, just like the terra preta soils. It's 500 years ago those people died out, and to this day that's...
We walked out into any of the paddocks around here and did a pH test on those soils. We'd find that it's reasonably acid soils, and that it's been grazed by cows and things like that. It's probably quite compacted and not much life in there. Hot compost as well, which Rob's just touching one here that I just dug down a little bit into the hot compost. It was still really warm this morning, and just got some of that material. It's not fully composted yet, but it's on the way.
Compost? Just press it out between your finger like that, you feel it quite sticky and... Asking questions.
He was. Sorry to distract your hands. I just wanted to see if you could mention something about conditioning your biochar before you put it in the soil.
With organic matter. How do you improve acid soils and bring them more to neutral? With organic matter. Yeah, more life in the soils.
Exactly a heart. The whole thing floated down. At this precise moment we reached the boiling pot lookout, the heart eclipsed the sun and dissolved right before our eyes. It was like an Aztec heart sacrifice practically. And for me at that time it was this big thing like struck me, and it said, live life as a waking dream from the heart. That was my symbolic interpretation. of that whole thing. There's a lot more to it than that. But that, very quickly, that was the essence of it. That's why that you
They've got organic coffee and tea as well. Get your cupboards here. In front of us, we have the Ricky Parties, the Marina Somerville.
When you actually think that if you go and have plastic surgery, you become something different. It's just playing games with the illusion, and it doesn't work. So the craziest thing we've ever done is we created ways of living that do not work. Between 14 and 40 years of age for the Australian male, and I think it includes females, do you know what the #1 cause of death is? Suicide. Can you imagine that? It's like we haven't got enough ways to die. With over 40,000 diseases, and suicide is the #1 between 14 and 40. And it doesn't work. We're immortal. You can't suicide.
Clearing the chest. So you will find lumpy bits, push on the lumpy bits, and that will ease your chest. So sometimes people cough from it. It really depends on how effective you and how congested they are. And then coming back the other way. So we're doing this like that. And we just clear that. And if you can't do
Does it go short and then
the bossy one.
Yeah.
But a lot of people like getting their feet done. So what we're doing is we're pushing here. That feels. So you start feeling for the lumpy bits. See?
You can't find lumpy bits.
You don't have to create lumpy bits. Just find them. But there's stuff in here. See? Yeah.
Dolphins are still swimming. Then you have a swimming dolphins. Too hard.
Changes in much of what they need to learn to make
Now, so actually often you find that when there's a conflict in our beliefs, it shows up as a physical symptom. Because we're trying to tell ourselves that there's a problem. Fears, false evidence appearing real, or as one of my clients says, F everything and run. When we're doing fear, we're not doing intelligence. We suck our energy out of our intelligence, out of the mental, create an over-energy response in our fear. Family, where we've got mother and father. You see mother's on the side of the emotion, which is about values and feelings, and father's on the side of mental, it's more about control. Fathers are more about control, mothers more about value, and on the self is on the physical side. It's like the self is physical evidence that family exists.
Think about everything you feel emotionally is created in the world around you. And you see that emotion, all right, negative or positive, you see them in people around you.
Oh, sorry. So some people's yours is fine, but does it hurt?
She did the common cleaning.
Yeah, yours is fine. Okay. But, yeah, definitely.
And so, don't think these things don't happen to us, but it's the choices we make with them that say whether they're going to continue or not. So in other words, we create our life. We do it because life is flowing through us. So if you change your relationship with yourself, and you love, respect and honour yourself, why is that? Completely, utterly harmless. The idea of killing, it was no longer in our consciousness. Obviously, as a mass of humanity, over 7 billion people, as I look back over those 500 million years, and I've written about this in my third book, which at the moment is in the process of being printed. When I look back, I see that this Earth planet has changed many, many times. It's been hit and spun around. It's been complete wipeouts. But none of those things really matter. One of the things that interested me, fear. People talk about their fear. Have you ever wondered what is fear?
You feel the difference?
And don't get
I think it's
You can only do it consciously. So I'll tell you how to do it. We might just have enough time. First thing is, and I mean this and it works, what I'm telling you works, and people all over the world are doing this. When you wake up in the morning, you have no direction, do you? You just get up and get out of bed. If I said fly to India, you'd have to buy tickets for India, get in the right airport and get on the right aeroplane, then you'd arrive where you wanted to go in India. You wouldn't wander into an airport and get on the first plane. So when you wake up in the morning, today you say, today I choose appreciation. That's your focus for the day. And you'll never do it subconsciously. Today I'm going to appreciate myself. I'm going to appreciate my friends. And I'm going to tell them, hey, I really appreciate you. You don't have to get all goofy. Just let them know they appreciate it. You appreciate your life. You appreciate where you work, even if you don't. You practice what appreciation does, and you might suddenly find your job has improved a lot.
Directly ahead of us. And this was at 5 o'clock in the morning. We were going somewhere to Landsborough. This was in my dream, and what happened is we hit the water in the car in the dream. We said, oh my God, as you do, and we turned around and drove back to Mullaney, and when we arrived in Mullaney it was dawn, and there were hundreds of buses, and people were arriving or getting into these buses heading off to the hinterland area. And this was a dream that I had that was very, very detailed. And I tend to think that a lot of these dreams that a lot of us have had, about, particularly about tidal waves, are really about our watery emotional stuff. And because what we're in now is a cycle astrologically where a lot of what we've taken for granted, the systems that we've accepted, the ways we've interrelated with each other, the financial system that we're part of, the manufacturing system that we're part of, have all reached a point where they're coming up against brick walls. The way we're operating now isn't working for a lot of us. And on an environmental level, we're having to deal with the results of 50 years of manufacturing and agricultural farming, and we're having to deal with the results of alteration of the basic structure of matter and a nuclear.
We're also going to be performing in a little while, so
That's $2, yeah. You know what they're nice for when you're done with them? Put the individual ones like in with greeting cards or letters and send them to people.
Into the fat area that actually has its own hormonal system. So that you've got things like adiponectin, which is sending information to the brain. Now, we know for a fact that when you've got something like obesity, it's the obesity that actually causes the hunger. It's not the hunger in the first place that causes the obesity. And all that they're doing is filling themselves full of inflammation, and the inflammation causes you to draw in more fluid.
Taking it into continuous movement. So no lines, no starts, no stops. Just an endless roll, a flow of life. Receiving you, receiving the breath. I'm going to take you on a journey.
Virgos are people that are into details. They're into things like having to do things in a certain systematic way. They're very earthy in that they're practical about details. They think a lot, Virgo people, and if they're really into the negative side of Virgo, they worry a lot and they get anxious about things not working properly.
Yeah, I remember, and I love that you're good fun.
Yeah, I wanted to think. I want to bull.
All these kids are really having fun here. Maybe you can turn around to the camera and go, look, here he is, there's the man. Can you say to the camera all at once, I'll come around to where the camera is, like here, look at this camera, and say, we love living.
We love living.
Don't you love it? Do you? Well, that's a start.
We love living. We love living. I did it. Oh my God. We love everything.
Doing the program for just about 4 weeks now. In the first 3 weeks I lost 10 kilos, basically and I'm feeling fantastic, great energy, and just basically feeling that I think knowledge is power. When you do this program, with Maureen or any of her trained practitioners, you learn about the body and what your food is doing, and that food can actually be your medicine.
And from stress, of course, cortisol is also involved in diabetes. You've got insulin. When insulin is, you can see really slender people, and they will have love handles here and here. That's an indicator that further along the line, that insulin could be.
The signs of obesity is attacking from inside the gut in the top.
Another one of those. Stretch up to the sky, let go.
Hair conditioner, shampoo, body wash, those sorts of things. A couple of the big ones that probably people have heard of and are aware of are sodium oral sulfate, or SLS, and propylene glycol. Have people heard of those ingredients? Yeah? Every so often they come out and say there's nothing wrong with these things, they're perfectly fine in the levels that they use them in products.
I'll just basically introduce what Falun Gong is. Falun Dafa or Falun Gong is a cultivation practice initiated in China in about 1992. The founder of Falun Gong was Master Li Hongzhi, who introduced it to a small group of people in 1992 at one of the first conferences, where about 200 people attended. And at the time, there was a lot of other practices around China that were based on Qigong and Tai Chi and all different sorts of methods or things like that, because in China it's a cultural thing, it's something that's been going for a long time. But anyway, when Falun Gong was introduced, it became very popular, and at the 92, 93 health awards, 93, 94 health awards in China, the Expo, it won the top Qigong practice in China for its healing effects and its ability to rectify a lot of what was abnormal.
You do kind of cooling response. So you tone your name, and then the rest of the group repeats that back to you. Yeah? Does that make sense? I'll start. We knew you were going to start. I've always got to start. You'll all feel better once I've done it. I'm lucky I've got a really great tone. I'll try not to make it too difficult for you. So my name's Kerry.
do it back to me. Very nice. And feel free to add a movement, but you don't have to. So which way around will we go? That way. You okay with that?
Ronda!
Yeah. Ronda! Very nice.
This is the first set of exercises of Falun Dafa. It is intended to stretch and open up all the channels of the body. When doing the exercise, one feels his body warm and can sense the existence of a very strong energy field. This is the second exercise of Falun Dafa. It is a standing meditation. It's a tranquil standing exercise composed of 4 wheel-embracing movements.
We can do that. So we have the Waka Waka music in a minute. Okay. And then we can do that.
Something that they would like us to do some work on. Yeah.
One, two, one, two, one,
Exhale your arms around you, behind your back, and interlace the fingers.